we can get started now. I know people would still be joining, so let me start here. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for the panelists. The panelists here, we have the candidates for the election 2020 for ICM Shura, and we would be giving them, we will be requesting them to introduce themselves in a few minutes, and then we would we'll open it up for everyone to post questions. You are more than, I mean, it will be great if you can type in your questions. If you have any questions, the participants, the attendees that are here, if you can please type in your questions, that'll be great. Is it, Sitar, are we recording this session today?
Yes, it's being recorded.
Okay, so we can share it with the community if it's okay with everyone, all the panelists and everyone. Want to make sure that everyone is aware that we're recording the session. With that, the elections, with last 2 years, we had decided that the elections will be run in Ramadan, towards the end of Ramadan. The term is from Shawwal to Ramadan, and it's for 3 years. This year, we have 3 seats that are open, and we have, Alhamdulillah, we have 7 candidates. We're very thankful to Allah, and then all to the candidates for taking up this challenge or to help the community, to build a community. This is really something that we are really thankful to all of you for all the effort and all the niyyah that you have done, and inshallah would do. I think the ICM chair was also supposed to join. I think she has not been able to join us yet, but one of the message was that although there are 7 participants or 7 candidates and there are 3 seats, we would still have a lot of volunteer work and community building activity as part of different communities. So each and every one of you would have the opportunity to join in and work as for the betterment of the community, either on the Shura or on the community. So please be aware of that. It's not just a fight to get on the Shura, but it's also your motivation and your dedication is absolutely, we are thankful for that. So with that, I would like the panelists to, from a process of point of view, once we have this introduction session and all, we're in the process of publishing the election. We're setting it up by a site called Simply Voting. We would, and I'm gonna show you from last year how it looked. So let me share my screen here. So if you can see, this is from election from last year. You can see, I'm hoping you can see my screen. So you would see the candidates listed here with their name and photographs. And if you click in on their name, you would be able to see the description that they have provided about themselves. And based on that, you would have a number of votes that you can cast. And then you would, so you would get an email. All the registered voters will get an email, and they'll be able to select number of candidates that they want. And then at the end of the term, so this the election will hopefully start by end of day tomorrow or Sunday, and then it'll run for a whole week. So the following Sunday, we will conclude the election. And by that time, whoever has the most vote, so top 3 candidates will be selected. The way this Simply Voting works is once we start the elections, even the election committee doesn't have any opportunity to make any changes or anything. We can only send reminders for people who have not voted, and those reminders can be sent out. And we don't even know how many votes, or who has got how many votes or anything. It's all transparent to us also. we're not able to see that. Once the election is concluded, that's when we would know who got how many votes, and that would be published on the link that you would receive. So we will know at the same time you all will know about the election's conclusion. With that, I'm gonna actually I can do one more thing. Yeah, I would then request each of the panelists to start introducing themselves.
Brother Wasif?
Yes.
Would you just introduce what the Shura as a body does for anybody who does not know?
Right. So I know there are attendees. So Shura is the legislative body of ICM. That's a big word, but it's basically the focus of Shura is there are 14 members of Shura. One of the member is the Imam, who's a permanent member, and then there are 13 other members, out of which every year we have about 3 seats are vacated, and those are filled every year with elections. The Shura's purpose is to make decisions on behalf of ICM. And these are all decisions, all committees report to the Shura, and there is a chair for Shura, and there is an executive committee of Shura. So all decisions that ICM makes, Shura members are supposed to be part of that. Shura members meet once a month at least, and they basically have an agenda, they plan, they discuss, and then they vote, and they basically, as the word Shura, they basically consult each other and then decide what's best for the community and for ICM, and then make decisions on that. So that's the primary role of Shura. Many of the Shura members also help on other committees, depending on their interests. Some people have interest in volunteering in other activities, and they all help in those areas. So depending on your interest, you can also focus on certain communities, committees, but the primary role on being on Shura is to be part of the legislative and be part of that decision making. The process is that Shura has each item they have to vote, and then there is a majority vote for each item. Once the Shura decides on something, then it is understood that even if you voted against it, but once the Shura decides on it, you're all part of the same team. So that's basically how it is. We as any other board that you would be part of, this is also a board that helps manage ICM's decisions.
Jazakallah khairan, Brother Wasif. I quickly pulled the functions of the Shura from ICM's bylaws for the benefit of the question that was asked. If you don't mind, I can quickly read through those. You gave a good summary, but I have like the points listed there. So if someone wants to know those, I can quickly read them out.
We can. I think we can come back to it in the question and answer sessions. I don't want to, but we definitely, that would be a good thing to do, depending on the questions we have. But if anyone else has a question, please do keep posting the questions. Sister Tara is monitoring, and if there are any questions, she would either stop us and have the questions posted, or we would have the questions in the end. With that, I would request the panelists to introduce themselves. If I may request Sister Hina Mujtaba, so please introduce herself.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum all. I'm Hina Mujtaba. I'm a Cary resident for the past 12 years. Alhamdulillah, I hold a master's in business administration. ICM has been a second home to me and my family, providing engaging and exciting programs for all the Muslims. I have had plenty of experience in the field of leadership positions, including serving my term on the current Shura board. These past 3 years have been very beneficial for me, and I could know everything about Shura in and out, and how it works, what goes on, and how the decisions are made. And alhamdulillah, it was a really, really very good experience. And apart from this, apart from the Shura board, I began an outreach Quran program during the early years of ICM, and I still continue classes to this day within the confines of my home, teaching both children and adults for almost 8 years. And to add that, Alhamdulillah, I must say, right after this call, I have a student waiting for me, and inshallah, she would be finishing Quran with me today. So it's really a big day for me, Alhamdulillah. Yes. And there's one more student in the pipeline, Alhamdulillah, who should be finishing around in August or July, I'm expecting. So Alhamdulillah, yes, those big achievements for me. And apart from this, I'm leading a program at the Wake County Women's Shelter, delivering and serving meals to the homeless every Jummah. And I'm extremely passionate about giving back to the community that has done so much for me. And I'm dedicated to create a positive change at ICM through my position as a member of a Shura board, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Hina. I would now request Imran Bukarfi. I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name correctly.
No, you got it. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Imran. I've been in the community for almost 10 years now, since the strip mall. I joined the community when I was 12 years old. Alhamdulillah, now I'm 21 years old, pursuing computer science. I have one more year left, inshallah. I'd like to say that I think my main focus at ICM is more so with the youth program. I've seen it go through many phases, good and bad, and I'd like to think that I've done a lot to help make it more of an official program, and make it a much bigger program. A lot more youth have come, and it's changed so much since I first joined. I've also grown up with the youth, so not only would I be a great candidate for being a bridge with the youth and Shura, but I've also been one of the youth themselves. So even then, when I speak to the youth and I have ideas and I throw something out there for them, they're always very supportive because they trust me to, that I have them in mind, and ultimately it's within accordance to the Quran and Sunnah. So yeah, alhamdulillah, like ICM has done so much for me. It's like a second home to me, and I think now that that I'm older and I have more of an understanding of the community, I feel like it's time for me to give back. And alhamdulillah.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Imran. I can now, can I request Brother Imran Baliguddin? Imran, you are muted. Let me.
Sorry about that. My name is Khwaja Imran Baliguddin. I heard about this, Shura for quite some time, and I was reached out before to join in, but I was so busy with my work and everything that I was not able to make it. But this time when Wasif, reached out to me through someone, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna really try it, because I think I have a lot to give. I mean, I've been living here for almost 10 years. We moved from Florida. My kids, I have 3 kids. 2 of them were born in Florida. My third one was born here. I graduated from Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida, worked in IT. I have a major in my computers and business administration. Worked in IT for quite some time in different positions. My last position was with Philips Healthcare as a systems analyst, senior system analyst, and a team lead. And I moved over here through working from home. Then I decided to do something on my own, and it turned out to be that I started doing some cell phones, retail, and then wholesale, and then it got flourished, and it got bigger, and then I had to quit my job, and that is what currently I'm doing right now. I'm a self-employed. I mean, as far as the, I have a lot of leadership skills. I mean, obviously, I have, I manage a group of people from my work right now. I'm the, so-and-so, they call me boss, but I don't call them. I said I'm a team member because I like to be a team member. I like to work with, individuals, which is what I do. I train my sales team. I train, give them a leadership, skills who are my managers for my different locations. I teach them. We do classes together. We do all sorts of leadership, education. We educate each other, and we hold these meetings almost once a month. So I also am a assistant scoutmaster for Boy Scouts of America. My son is a Boy Scout. He will be Eagle next year. So I manage over there, kids, Boy Scouts with a lot of different activities. So I'm all in all, I mean, I really work well with youth. I work really well with, and I'm a very hands-on person. So in Boy Scouts is almost very hands-on. When we do camping, we do everything on our own, and try to figure out if there is any issue. In that aspect, I bring a lot to the table with my leadership skills, especially with youth. I think I will be a good candidate for this position. I don't know much about what are the requirements for the position. The only thing that I do know is this is you guys meet once a month, but especially if given a chance, I'll definitely bring my own ideas, and as far as the ICM mosque, or ICM community, a lot of people know me. Wasim knows me, especially all these people on the panel know me. I meet them almost every day in the mosque and some other different places. So inshallah, it'll be good. So thank you for making me a part of this. And inshallah, if given a chance, then I should be a good addition to the Shura community.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Imran. Thank you for your introduction. I would now request Brother Muhammad Khalil to please introduce himself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm your brother Muhammad Khalil. I've been in the ICM community for about 6 years now. When I moved here, it was towards our final days in the strip mall, and then went through all that process of alhamdulillah growth that we went through with one building and a second building, and alhamdulillah we're in a good place right now. I was born and raised and educated in Egypt, and I almost moved straight from there to Morrisville. So I've been here for 6 years now. I've been on the current Shura for the past 3 years, and I also help with the Office of Imam Committee, which manages prayers and things that have to do with preparing for other different services that have to do with prayers that the masjid provides. And also I help with the facility committee, just maintaining and issues that have to do with maintenance and security of the facility and stuff like that. And so yeah, alhamdulillah, if elected again, I'll just continue, inshallah, doing my best to help the community, and if not, I also, inshallah, will be with my other roles with executive committees. So looking forward to it, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Muhammad Khalil. And I'll request Brother Rahmat Ali to introduce himself.
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
My name is Rahmat Ali, and I have been living in Morrisville from last 20 years. I am the part of the Morrisville Masjid from the day one when we started the masjid at the Strips Shopping Center. And I have experience to do I did in past like a youth program and organizing the annual Eid programs, and plus I do like all the other activities for the masjid. I have three kids, two sons and one daughter, and I'm the district manager of the subway. I work for Shakil Ansari, and I have experience for all the like management things, and I also go every day to the masjid. I was before I was the member of the Shura, like maybe like 6-7 years ago. I have good experience, and then I do all the minor maintenance for the masjid to make sure the masjid runs good. So all these things, socializing programs, I have all these experience, and I hope if I get elected, inshallah, I will do my best to make sure the masjid will get more improved and more better for our communities. If not, I'm still there. I go every day there, and inshallah, hope whoever get there, and we all with them, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Rahmat Ali. So this is all the candidates that were able to join today. We have two more candidates that have not been able to join. Brother Kamran Qureshi and Brother Riyaz Khan. So Brother Riyaz Khan and Brother Kamran Qureshi have been part of this community for a long time. They've been part of ICM community for a long time, alhamdulillah, and they have contributed from the start for the community also. It would have been great if they could have joined, but if you guys have any other questions, I know I know most of you would know Brother Riyaz or Kamran. If not, I can share their pictures, and if that would help. But with that, I think we have another 10-15 minutes, so I will request I'll request if you guys, if there are any questions, please raise your hands and we can unmute you to ask questions. So that's one way of doing it. I see Mikhail Raza has a question, and I'm going to allow you to unmute you. So please go ahead and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Jazakallah for having me on. I have one question that I would like to be directed at Imran Bukhari. I was wondering about if he could speak a little about his perspective coming from the background of being a youth within ICM and how we can better serve our community of youths and how that would be able to play into how the masjid is going to start running from here on out. Inshallah.
Thank you, Mikhail. And your question was addressed to?
Brother Imran Bukhari.
Oh, okay. Brother Imran, you want to answer this, please?
Yeah, so, I mean, bottom line, I think that the youth could only be understood, especially the ones who grew up here in America, could be understood by those who grew up here and born here. I've been here, like, seeing the youth go through struggles, including myself. We would sit around the halaqas with Brother Isa and, discuss all the things that we go through and, like, what it means to be, a young Muslim man in the U.S. I've been there when Ustad Isa was doing his halaqat in that small closet in the old ICM building. And just seeing, like, the youth there that were, like, working really hard to like, just sort of survive and make it in a world that's very, like, anti-Islam. I think that having someone on Shura who doesn't just like watch the youth from outside, but they're actually one of them, and they've grown up with them, and you know they've grown with them. So I think that is something that is, in my opinion, lacking a little bit with our community. And I think that there are a lot of youth that want to have a voice and they're not able to voice it. And I think that me joining Shura just gives them a bigger voice in what in the things that they would want to do, or things that they want to be talked about, whether it's regards to certain issues that they're going through in their lives, or you know, politics, or family dynamics, anything. And I think that that's something that I definitely can relate to and can provide for them, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. There is another question by Brother Ihab.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, so my question is to all candidates. If you can, in one or two sentences, describe something that in the current status quo that you don't like and you want to improve, or have a difference of opinion, and what would it be?
Jazakallah khair. And I think we can start with any of the candidates who's ready to answer first, and then we can quickly
Yeah,
go
assalamu
around.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, I think I can go ahead and answer. I have been involved with the Wake County Women's Shelter, and we basically prepare food, we deliver food, we serve food to 60 to 80 homeless people there. And these are all women who are really, really needy. So alhamdulillah, this program I have been running for since, I guess, 3 years. It's been so much successful. And I lead the program actually, and we have a group of say 50 to 60 ladies in it who prepare, and you know, everybody volunteering and helping each other. But the big part is, you know, I definitely want ICM to be part of, you know, this providing meal program. And definitely I would like to inculcate that program. We do have the pantry, we do distribute food, but this is something which I'm talking about a weekly basis, every Friday, so that we make sure that, you know, people do not go hungry and their stomachs are well fed. Yes.
Jazakallah. I'll request everyone to be brief, but anyone else who wants to answer, and not everyone has to answer, anyone who wants to add, please do. So
I'll go ahead, inshallah. I think that, like I said, I think that the youth still have a long way in being represented in our community, even though amongst themselves the youth are you know, getting bigger. I think there's still a disconnect between the people who are older and the people who are younger. And I mean, I don't think it's even a matter of opinion. I just think, just from hearing the youth speak about their frustrations and stuff, I just think that that's something that should be better heard. And I think the importance of that is that, you know, the youth are the next generation. They make up our community, you know, in the long run. So if we invest in them, then our community will thrive way more than it is already. And that could go a long way considering how far we've come.
thank you, Brother Imran. Who want to go next? Brother Muhammad.
Yeah, I can briefly, inshallah. So ICM as an organization runs on like any other organization, has resources, and so these resources, some of them are like financial resources, and some are human resources. We have, as on the financial side, we're doing all right, alhamdulillah, but we have many or a big responsibility and a big liability that we need to get beyond. We have a building that's still not paid for, so I hope to see us beyond that, where ICM is done with paying for this building, and to actually be able to, I hope that one day we would be able to use parts of those buildings to generate some income for ICM so that we actually are able to sustain ourselves financially without having to, keep going to the community for donations continuously. The other part is the human resources. Alhamdulillah, ICM has many great volunteers that work and support, but we always need more. I hope to see more volunteers. I hope to see more involvement from other people. I would like the pool of people that contribute to ICM to increase, and the responsibilities to be distributed between more people so we can provide better efforts and service to the community. So these are the two main things that I won't say that I have an exact plan of how to get any of those done, but I would say that at any point when I'm being asked to vote on a decision or things that we discuss, these are things that I have in my mind and that help me make my decisions in any case.
Jazakallah. Anyone else who wants to add?
Yes. As I mentioned in my introduction, that I like to work with youth, and I have been doing it on my in my own capacity. And I also mentioned that I am a part of Boy Scouts of America, and I think I forgot to mention it's a Muslim troop, 373 Boy Scouts of America. So it's all Muslim kids there. I really like, and I think I talked to a couple of people. I did not get a very good answer. I really like ICM to be a part of this, troop, and encourage kids that are come over there to join the Boy Scouts of America Muslim troop, because we do a lot of hands-on in our is what we do, and I notice in most of the kids that are that I'm seeing, either they are not really hands-on or don't speak really well. They are there at the mosque, come and go, but we can definitely help them, and that would be a very good start for their for their future. I think ICM should think about it to become the part of Boy Scouts of America for Muslim chapter.
Jazakallah. Any other member who wants to add to it? All right. Anyone else has a question? I know, Sister Tara, you had some questions that were sent to you earlier.
Yeah, I think actually most of them were covered very well by the introductions, and then these follow-up questions that the community had. I think the main thing was people wanting to know how familiar you are with current programs that ICM offers, and then how you would either improve on those or add to those. I don't know if anybody...
Yeah, I think so. The people who have already been on the Shura or part of the committee, we can understand that you are well aware of ICM and its operations. So any of the new candidates who have not been part of it, so I guess we have two of them, Imran and Imran, that can answer if you want to take any questions. What do you already know about ICM, and how would you? How familiar are you with ICM current operations?
There is something that I want to, and I reach out to the ICM website webmaster. There were some flaws in the dates for on the website, and I pointed out to him. So that would be a start. And I think ICM is working really well. What they do right now. Obviously, there there are things that can be improved. I mean, there are always room for improvement in everything. So I can't think of anything right now. I know brother mentioned about the something about the finance and everything. I have an idea, and I've seen in other mosques, especially in when I was in Florida, they ask people to contribute monthly. I'm not sure if ICM does that or if he have something like that. It could be $25 a month, for everyone, in fact, to come to the mosque. I mean, we have a lot of people coming to the mosque. This Morrisville area is grown tremendously. I mean, when I moved here in 2008, I mean, there weren't too many people. And there was only Cary Mosque, and then obviously a lot of other mosques came and established because of the community, and everybody knows that what Morrisville, the size of the community that we have. Something that that if we can do a minimum amount for every member, every community member, that would help collectively. I'm all for the fundraising and all that, but I think minimum amount every month, it would help, would make a more difference to the all the other expenses. Just my 2 cents.
Jazakallah khair. And Imran?
Yeah. So just a little side story. Ustad Isa, as many of you know, he was a big part of our community. He moved to Texas recently. And we all know Texas is a really, really big community. It's very, very established to the government level. And I remember I went to visit with him, and I was talking to a lot of the youth there. And we were talking to them about how ICM operates basically as a very low-key, smaller masjid, but it's established enough so we were able to do a lot of events and things that we wanted. And the more I kept talking about ICM to them, the more they were like astonished by how welcoming and diverse and unique that we are as a community. And I think that I took pride in that because I'm a part of it and I grew up with it. And so I think that if we just work on, like I said, if we just work on our engagement with the youth just a little bit, and we kind of make it more official and we streamline it so that not even just ICM, but IAR and other masajid are aware of us. I mean, that will make ICM, like, in my opinion, one of the best masajid in America. And I think that as far as other operations go, I mean, we have so many people who give to the community, and we're grateful about that. And likewise with our education and our programs for the kids and stuff with Quran and whatnot. If we could just fix the how we bring in like the older youth and stuff and make it more official for them, I think we'll be a perfect community, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. From the attendees, if there are any other questions, please raise your hand, or I can unmute you, or you can type your questions. Even from the panelists, if you guys have questions to each other, please ask. But any questions from anyone will be fine here. So, Sister Tara, is there a way to unmute the attendees?
I do not think so.
Okay. So I'm gonna, it says allow to talk, and I'm gonna make it allow to talk to everyone. You have to unmute yourself, and if you want to ask a question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. So everyone is now allowed to talk. You just have to unmute yourself and then talk.
अनम्यूट कर दिया सबको. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay, I have to go for iftar somewhere, so inshallah, I'll see you next time, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. I think we're concluding. So Jazakallah khair everyone for joining. I think this was a good session. Thank you for introducing yourself, and thank you for making the Nia to be part of this this effort of Shura. Inshallah, we will be following up with some emails, some more details. And if anyone in the attendees, if you have any other questions, please do send it to elections@icmnc.org, and we'll try to, inshallah, answer your questions. Jazakallah khair, and thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for
Nice meeting
coordinating,
you all.
Brother Wasif and Sister Tara,
Thank
and may Allah reward
Thank
you.
you.
And
Jazakumullah
Assalamu
khairan,
alaikum.
everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.